Okie dokie, so here we're going to have a go at a narrated flip through of my sketchbook. This one was from October 2018 through to, 15th of April 2018 through to October 2018. I like to start my sketchbooks with a picture of a hero. This is Emmeline Pankhurst, who was a suffragette in London in the early 1900s. And a picture of my palette with the paints listed out. This was mucking about getting ready for a comic portrait for a friend of mine. Captured my lunch, one of my sons, a pot of geraniums that were giving me some joy at the time. I like to include bits and pieces of packaging from things that I receive in the mail. So these were from Matusu Banowitz's book about the Tokyo storefronts. And these are a couple of his stickers featuring his paintings. This is a wine label with a splodge of wine, of course. Capturing the everyday in my laundry. These are a fun couple of portraits. This is me when I was about 4, I think. And this is the Viking when he was a tyke. More wine labels, playing with how vignettes and blends work on this type of paper. It's a Stillman and Burn beta series. So it's nice, thick, proper watercolouring paper. Pretty little pot plant holder thingy I got. Wishing I was back in London on holidays. Capturing some of the autumn leaves. Playing with different colour shadows just to see how the new pigments that I got play on the paper. Remembering my poor old Fergus who died 12 months earlier. Capturing bits and pieces of my day. I had a massage that day with hot stones and it was just fabulous. This is part of the packaging from some product I bought from my beautician. More paint play and playing with capturing things without putting down a pencil drawing first. Looking at the granulation in this fabulous paint. Remembering a trip to New Zealand a couple of years ago. Just love the stillness of the lake. It just reflected the mountains perfectly. A bit of a bright colour one. I've got some new washi tape, so I was playing with that. Trying to match colours with pencil. Some packaging, capturing little things that I heard. I was at the shops and heard a mum ask her little girl, "What do you want for dinner?" She said, "Let's wrap Daddy up in pasta and we'll have Daddy-oli." I thought that was pretty funny. More playing with capturing light and no pencil drawings to start with. My team wanted a rainbow poo, so I drew them one. We had it made into stickers and put on cups and stuff like that. That was pretty fun. Lunch with a friend. When I don't know what to draw, I usually resort to doing a self-portrait of some sort. So this is curly hair. I was playing with a new hair treatment system called the Curly Girl system. So mucking around with that and capturing my curls. Cleaning up my handbag is not very exciting. Throwing back to a holiday I had in France a few years ago. I was very, very peaceful in the garden and I needed some peace, so I drew what I wanted in life. Playing with drawing over the top of a full wash on a page. This is Daniel Smith watercolours with Noodler's black ink and watercolour pencils on top. See, were they watercolour? They might have been Prismacolors. And a little bit of white jelly roll around the edges. This was my first play with doing a messy journal style page. Writing lots, doing layers, covering bits up, and then putting the message that I want to end up with over the top of it all. So reframing the stuff that I was going through into a positive rather than dwelling on the negative. These pages cover off a visit that I took to the War Memorial. I spent a lot of time there one way or the other. I love the old trucks and planes and stuff. And I've drawn this sculpture a few times now across the years. This is Bellona, the goddess of war. She sits out in the grassed area out the front of the War Memorial. I didn't know what to draw, so I drew Mr. Bump. He's my little soft toy that sits in my bed, and he usually travels with me wherever I go. This is when I hurt my foot. Capturing my lack of green thumbness in my sketchbook. I managed to kill this one. In the end, I had hoped to revive it, but it didn't survive. This one, oddly enough, is still living, which is nice. Crickets are what I feed to my pet lizard. He's a bearded dragon, so when I get buckets of crickets for his food, they chirp all over the place and all the time, and they escape, and I find them everywhere, and they drive me bonkers. Another picture of my swollen sore foot. I was feeling a bit sorry for myself, so I decided to use some nice bright colours and capture some gratitude down the side. Celebrating spring coming in my garden. This is my ornamental pear. It's just outside the back door. Always makes me smile, but the flowers don't last nearly long enough, so they last longer in my sketchbook. This is me. I was always a bit of a wild child. Mum told me later on that not long after this picture was taken, I disappeared from the backyard, and they found me down the street with the neighbours' dogs who just had puppies. So I'm sure I gave Mum more than her fair share of grey hairs over the years. Back to the gym and working out the kinks. It was kind of hard, but it always is after you've taken a little bit of a break, but it felt good to be back. A bumblebee diving into a flower. Sort of a bit of an abstract-y sort of take on it. Another one without full drawing underneath. I just sort of let loose with a paint and saw where it took me. I like the little back runs. It sort of makes him look a bit fluffy. Capturing when I had my car cleaned. Playing with a little bit of collage. I took a page and cut out the circles and sort of made her a little bit disjointed. I think it sort of looks like a bit like stars. Another bit of collage. My boys spent a couple of weeks in Japan with their father in September, and they brought me back these cute little soaps that are really, they're sort of squishy, like I almost feel like a stress ball. But they smell really lovely, and they came wrapped in this tissue papery stuff, so I wanted to capture that as well. Trip to the museum to see some Roman artifacts from the British Museum. Some flowers from my love. I wasn't really happy with how this one worked out. I was trying to do it without the benefit of a sketch underneath again, but it still captures the way I felt about the flowers and about my love at the time, so it stays. I saw this on a t-shirt on a kid at the shops and just had to have it. It was beautiful. The snuggle is real. Playing with a bit more abstract, florally and bugs themes. I love my bumblebees and my ladybugs. Wishing again that I was somewhere else. This is a doorway in Paris. I took lots and lots of photos of doorways. They sort of always seem to lead to much nicer things beyond. We stayed at a nearby building that had a door similar to this, and you'd go through and it opened out into this gorgeous courtyard that was filled with geraniums and little tables, and it was just lovely. So I captured it. This is a muckabout page, testing paint, testing pens, and what my washi tape looks like when it's on paper so that I can refer to it later on. And that's the end of this one. Thanks for watching.